The message came at 3:14 p.m. It was only 3 short lines. No hello, no kindness, just a clear order. Don't come to Dad's party. You're not part of this family. Try it, and I'll call security. It was from Chase Carrington, my half-brother. He's 3 years younger, a full-time businessman, and the self-appointed guardian of everything related to Carrington Sons. His words were always sharp, like the neat hedges at our old family estate, meant to cut. I stared at the screen for a while, hoping another message might appear, maybe something gentler, something that said he didn't really mean it. Nothing came. Then another buzz. Maddie, please understand, tonight is important for your father's business. Don't make it harder than it has to be. Diane Carrington. My stepmother, she always made harsh words sound like she was doing you a favor. Please understand. As if I hadn't been trying to understand for years. I set the phone down beside a worn silver compass, my mother's. She gave it to me when I left for MIT. On the back, it still read, "Never follow maps, make your own." I hadn't seen my dad, Leonard Carrington, in nearly 5 years. Not since he called my engineering patents a cute hobby. Not since he told me I was wasting the family name. Now he was turning 60, big party at a country club, investors, politicians, but no room for me, his only daughter, at least, not the one who stopped being useful. I leaned back and looked at the magazine on my wall. Melanie Kane, the quiet force behind Volterra battery systems. They didn't know, none of them knew. What does it say when your family acts like your absence is a gift, and your presence is a problem? The compass shifted slightly in the sunlight. I already knew my answer. It had been 5 years since I walked out of Carrington Automotive with just a bag and that compass. I remember that last talk with my dad. It wasn't loud, just cold. Electric batteries are a dead end, he said, flipping through my sketches. We make engines, real ones, not toys for tree huggers. He didn't yell, he didn't even look at me, just brushed the papers aside like they didn't matter. I was 26, fresh MIT grad with a double degree. My thesis had been quoted by top EV experts, but to him, I was just a girl with silly drawings. Diane stood next to him, arms crossed, face blank. This company has a future, Maddie, but not if we waste it on science projects. That was my last meeting there. They offered me a VP job, corner office, big paycheck, even a parking spot with my name on it. I turned it down. Then I left, not out of anger, not to prove a point, but to build something new. Volterra Technologies started in a tiny lab at Green Tech Park. I slept in my car, lived on vending machine food, taught myself to solder while dealing with grant rejections and late-night stress. People think starting something new is exciting. It's not. It's lonely, quiet, like grief, but with more paperwork. But I believed in it. I believed in the girl with the compass and the dream. The first person who noticed I left? Chase. A week later, he removed me from the family group chat. No text, just gone. Like I'd never helped him with college physics, like I hadn't covered for him when he failed thermo. I didn't even blame him, he was just doing what he had to, being the golden boy, the real Carrington heir. And me? I took my mother's last name, Kane, and became someone else. It's strange how long you can go without being missed, even stranger that no one asks why you left, only when you're coming back. But I wasn't going back. Not for them. Only for the truth. If no one remembers what you gave, did it ever really matter? The phone call came just after 6 p.m. I was barefoot in the kitchen, staring at the kettle but couldn't remember if I'd put water in it. "Everything's ready for tonight," Jeremy said. His voice was calm and short, like always during work hours. Harrison's team confirmed the announcement. "Are you sure you want to do it like this?" Jeremy Lee had been with me since the very beginning, back when Volterra was just an idea and a messy lab table. He gave up a high-paying job at Tesla to help me build something no one believed in but us. I turned off the stove and watched the red coil cool down. "Yes," I said, "I need to be there. Leonard needs to see me, all of them do." Jeremy paused. "Then James Harrison specifically asked for you to attend. You're the face now, Maddie, it's your time." James Harrison wasn't just any investor, he was the investor, a billionaire, quiet, serious, the kind of man who made CEOs nervous and reporters stay silent. His firm had been watching Carrington Automotive fall apart for months. He didn't act, until Volterra stepped in. Until I said, "I'll give them the offer, but I'll deliver it myself." I got dressed quietly, no designer clothes, nothing flashy, just a dark blue dress, plain black shoes, and my mother's compass around my neck. It ticked gently as I moved, like a soft heartbeat. Downstairs, a car was waiting for me. I stopped at the door, hand on the knob, heart pounding. "They won't recognize you," Jeremy had once said. "They will," I'd replied, "just not yet." I stood there a minute, breathing in the weight of what I was about to do. Then I opened the door and stepped out into the cold night. If you're the answer they're hoping for, but they don't know it's you, do you still owe them the miracle? The Carrington Country Club looked the same. Same stone pillars, same fancy iron gates, same smiling valet with white gloves who asked no questions. I stepped out of the car and smoothed my coat. In the glass window, I caught my reflection, tall, calm, and still a little unfamiliar. Inside, chandeliers sparkled like frozen fireworks, smooth jazz floated through the air like perfume. A gold banner stretched across the far wall. Happy 60th, Leonard. The handwriting was elegant, but it felt cold. Near the entrance stood a woman with perfect hair and a nervous smile, Emma Carrington, Chase's wife, always polite, always prepared. Her eyes widened when she saw me. She gripped her tablet with one hand, reaching for her phone with the other. Maddie, Emma, you're not. I believe James Harrison's office called ahead, I said calmly. You'll find my name on the list. She fumbled with the tablet, fingers shaking. It's here, she whispered, but how? It doesn't matter how. I walked past her before she could decide whether to stop me or smile. The ballroom felt like a museum full of ghosts. Every corner held a memory I didn't want to remember. Diane stood at the bar in a shiny green dress, laughing too loudly. Chase moved through the crowd like a politician, perfect posture, perfect tie. None of them saw me, or maybe they did, but didn't recognize who I was now. I moved slowly, blending in like any other guest in a navy dress. Near the appetizer table, someone lightly tapped my arm. Diane? She smiled, but her eyes stayed cold. Meline, she said too sweetly, this isn't the place, is it? You've made your choice, why come back and stir things up? I tilted my head. She looked nervous, but not for the reason I thought. Are you scared I'll cause a scene? I'm scared you'll be right, she said, more quietly now, and he won't know how to handle that. Before I could say anything, the room changed, conversations faded, people turned toward the entrance. James Harrison had arrived. He was the most powerful man in the room, wearing a gray suit, neat, calm, no smile. And silence followed him like a shadow. What happens when the person they pushed out walks back in, with the one they now want most? James Harrison moved through the room like a tide pulling everyone with it. He didn't speak, not yet. He didn't need to say anything. The crowd moved out of his way automatically, politicians, business leaders, board members. It was like something powerful had entered, and no one wanted to stand in its path. My father, Leonard Carrington, stepped forward with a big, bright smile and his hand out. James, it's an honor, we're all excited about the big announcement tonight. James shook his hand briefly, calm, in control. Quite a crowd, Leonard, he said, but honestly, I'm here to meet someone. He let that sentence hang, then he looked around the room once, then again, until his eyes landed directly on me. There she is, he said, just loud enough for everyone to hear. Heads turned, the room fell silent, and just like that, the moment changed. He walked across the room toward me, slowly, deliberately. My father's smile faded, Diane's face froze. Chase stopped mid-step, holding a tray of champagne. Miss Kane, James said, holding out his hand, or should I say, Miss Carrington. The silence broke, not loudly, but like thin ice cracking. Someone gasped, somewhere, a glass hit the floor and shattered. My father turned to me, confused. I don't understand, he said. You know her? James gave a small laugh. Leonard, your daughter is the reason we're all here tonight. Did you really not know? Then he turned to the rest of the room. Everyone, allow me to introduce the founder and CEO of Volterra Technologies, Meline Carrington Kane. No one moved, not even me. You've been chasing Volterra for months, I said quietly, stepping forward. Meeting after meeting, proposal after proposal. I looked my father in the eyes. And yet, you never guessed the person you were so eager to meet was the same one you once told to stop wasting her time on battery tech. That's not possible, Chase said, his voice shaking. You haven't done anything since you left. Nothing? I asked. That nothing powers 4 of the top 5 electric vehicle companies in North America. That nothing is worth $3.8 billion. Leonard looked like he might fall over. He grabbed a chair for balance. The patents, the tech, that was you? I nodded, and for the first time, I saw something in his face. He was starting to believe it. You raised the girl who changed the industry, James said quietly. You just didn't see it. Diane stepped forward quickly, her voice sharp. Leonard, you can't let her take over everything we've built. You mean the company stuck in the past while the market goes electric? I said, the one losing money quarter after quarter, that company? I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Because this time, I didn't need their approval. James opened his briefcase and pulled out a slim folder. As agreed, Volterra Technologies will now own 58% of Carrington Automotive. Miss Carrington will become CEO, starting today. The whispers began, quiet at first, then louder. Chase turned bright red, Diane went pale, and my father, he just stared. What do you say when the daughter you pushed away becomes the only chance to save your name? My father still hadn't said a word, his fingers hovered over the folder like it might burn him. I watched him glance at the cover, then he saw the Volterra logo, my logo, printed in deep navy blue, a name he never said out loud, a daughter he never really saw. Maddie, he finally said, his voice thin, why didn't you tell me? I smiled, gentle, but firm. I did, 5 years ago, I brought you plans, numbers, a working model, you said they were childish, you told me to grow up and learn real business. He looked down, no excuse, just silence. Chase jumped in, angry, Dad, you can't let her do this, she left, she gave up her place, she doesn't deserve this. Be quiet, Chase. The words came fast, sharp, even Diane blinked. Stop, my father said, more serious now, you had every chance, and you didn't do what she did. He looked at me again, but I didn't look away. This was never about who deserved it, I said, it was about who could save it. Diane crossed the room then, no more grace, no more polished act, just cold anger in her eyes. You think this makes you better? She snapped. You think showing up with papers and numbers erases what you walked away from? I didn't walk away, I said calmly, you pushed me. She laughed, sharp and bitter. You always had to be the smartest, the special one. Well, congratulations, you're alone, and all this? It won't change that. I didn't reply. There was nothing left to say. I looked toward the center of the room, where a portrait of my father hung above the fireplace, bronze frame, confident smile, proud lighting, it looked like nothing had changed. But everything had. James Harrison cleared his throat softly, shall we begin? The folder was open now. And so was I. What's left of a family, when the truth finally matters more than blood? Most of the guests had gone, some stayed near the bar, whispering and watching. Chase had disappeared, Diane had locked herself in a room, probably calling the family lawyer. I stood alone on the back terrace. The cold air felt better than the heavy atmosphere inside. Through the glass doors, I could still hear some laughter, but it felt fake and out of place. Inside, the Carrington legacy was changing. Out here, I could finally breathe. I heard the door open behind me. I didn't turn, but I knew the footsteps, slower than I remembered, softer. Maddie, my father said quietly. I didn't answer. He came to stand beside me, close, but not too close. He looked out at the lawn, like he was hoping to find answers out there. That night you left, he said, I remember you standing in my office with that folder. I didn't even look at it. No, you didn't, I said. I was wrong. He said it plainly, no excuses, just the truth. I looked at him, just once. He looked older now, not in his face, but in his eyes, like something inside him had broken, and what was left was finally honest. Can you ever forgive me? He asked. I took off the necklace I was wearing, the compass my mother gave me, and held it out to him. This helped me find my way when no one else believed I had one. He looked at it but didn't take it, so I placed it gently on the stone railing between us. I'm not here to go back, I said, I'm here to move forward. If you're ready to learn from your daughter, I'll teach you. He nodded, not quickly, not proudly, but humbly, for the first time ever. Sometimes, when you don't listen, you lose more than you know. Monday morning was colder than usual, the sky was clear, pale sunlight. Frost clung to the windows at Carrington Automotive, soon to be Carrington Volterra Technologies. I walked through the front lobby, people whispered, some I recognized, some I didn't, familiar faces looked away, unsure how to react to the name they once tried to erase. Chase's office was dark, empty, his nameplate was already gone. Diane's decorations, sculptures, paintings, that wall of twisted metal, had all been packed up overnight. Legacy doesn't last long when power changes hands. My new office was in the East Wing. Same view, but everything felt different now. On the desk, there was one box, wrapped in navy tissue, no note, just the gift. I opened it slowly. Inside was my mother's old MIT engineering textbook. The pages were worn, the spine held together with old tape. One page had an envelope tucked inside. I opened it. The handwriting was hers, slanted, neat, familiar. For Meline. When the world finally sees what I've always seen. I held the page in both hands. I didn't cry. I didn't shake, I just stood still. The room was quiet, except for the steady ticking of the wall clock. Sunlight came in through the blinds and glinted off the silver compass on the stone window ledge. I'd left it there, so he could see it, so he could choose what to do next. I looked out at the city I once left, not as a forgotten daughter, not as someone running away, but as the builder of something new. And now, I didn't need to explain myself to anyone. They used to ask why I left. No one ever asked what I was building,